with regards to watching a class, watching a lecture, listening to something, participating online, with regards to just positivity, or it keeps him away from other haram things, and so on and so forth. We say that the circles of dhikr are blessed circles. They're blessed circles. As the Prophet ﷺ has told us in a very long hadith, the authentic narration, in which he explained how the angels travel, they search for circles of dhikr. When they find those circles of dhikr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He asked them, how have you left my slaves? What were you doing? What were they asking for? What were they saying? Did they see paradise? Did they see the hellfire? Naam. And Allah tells those angels that He has forgiven them. He has forgiven those people. And the angels, or some of them, will say, well, what about so and such, who's sitting with the people? He doesn't want to make dhikr. He's not here to listen, to benefit, but he came for a need, a haja, a reason. I need to talk to you. I need to see you. We need to do some work, so on and so forth. The Prophet ﷺ says, هُمُ الْقَوْمُ الَّذِينَ لَا يَشْقَى بِهِمْ جَلِيسٌ. Or كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. He says, they are the people who have no wretched friends. No wretched acquaintees. Those who are acquainted with them, sit with them, benefit from them, are never wretched. In other words, they're going to get benefit. They're going to get forgiveness of sin. They're going to get positivity just by what? Just by being around. Those who learn, those who study, those who memorize, technicalities, get shaykh, questions, so on and so forth. The people who just come just to hear the khair, to hear the dhikr. أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبُ. Allah says, indeed, in Allah's dhikr, do the hearts find repose. The hearts find true rest, true enjoyment, true serenity in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Naam. So therefore, I may come into the masjid and sit in the lecture because it keeps you in the masjid between Maghrib and Isha. These are based on intentions. I may not get the reward for studying, I may not get the reward for benefiting, but I'm sitting in the masjid, intending the salah. I hear Allah's name being mentioned. I hear the Prophet's name being mentioned. I say sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I may get one fa'idah, two fa'idas. I may get a question answered. Khair. Everyone is not hardcore, hard-nosed hadith disciple. Student of knowledge. There's some people who just want to be normal, 9 to 5, regular Muslims, but they want to be pious. They want to be righteous. And they may like the flow. There's nothing wrong with that. They're not getting what the other people are getting. Those who are actually eating and drinking. Who actually what? Have a taste for the food that's being presented and offered. Some people, they just may want to come and smell the food or look at the food. Some people just want to take a couple of bites, a snack or two. And there's some people who come with empty bellies who wish to eat and drink. So there are levels of students of knowledge, there are levels of listeners, there's levels of the 9 to 5 Muslim. What is important is that for you to sit in positivity, to take your time, wasting it on knowledge, even if you didn't learn that much, is better than listening to music, watching videos, chasing this one, going after this person, politics, fulan and fulana, killed and killer, and so on and so forth. It's much better. So there's nothing wrong with that. But we encourage everybody with the intention of learning. With the intention of what? Of learning. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best.
Question should we allow our children to pet dogs?
Should we allow our children to pet dogs? First and foremost, is the body of the dog impure or just the saliva? The correct view, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best, is that which is najis is the saliva of the dog, the mouth of the dog, the teeth of the dog. As far as the fur, the body of the dog, then we don't feel that view that says this najis is that strong. Whereas there's no direct proof, said direct authentic proof stating that the body of the dog is najis. That's first and foremost. So to touch a dog is not necessarily what? Najis. It's not necessarily najasa being on your hand. That's first and foremost. The concept of being friendly with a dog, being acquainted with a dog. The angels do not enter the house in which there is a surah or a dog. Those who take dogs will have their rewards, delinquished, so on and so forth. And many other hadith that push and inhibit the Muslim from having dogs and being lax and comfortable with what? With dogs. So from that aspect, the child shouldn't touch the dog. Whereas he touches one dog here, then he likes the dog. Dogs are creatures of Allah. Okay? They have feelings as well. The dog may like being touched and rubbed and patted. The dog may go up to the kid, a family dog. And then your child likes the dog. Oh, it's nice. Can we get one, Abby? No, dogs are haram. Then he sees another dog. He touches it. Can we get one, Abby? Can we get one, Abby? And then there's a fitna. The child may become attached to dogs, may like dogs. You may go away, you may die, you may pass away, you may travel. And then it's a dog in your house. Or when she goes to visit her non-Muslim family members, or she goes to school, whatever the case may be. So from that aspect, no. You shouldn't allow and encourage your child to pet a dog. From that what? From that aspect. As far as if you just passed by, and a dog passed by, and a little baby touched the dog, or a little girl touched the dog, that's one thing. But you educate your children, you teach them the ruling on what? On dogs. And you don't necessarily mentally shelter your children as many people do. Teach them and explain to them. You're a little girl, it's a nice little dog, it's cute, it's furry, but Muslims don't what? We don't have dogs. For this reason and for that reason. And that's it. It's okay. It doesn't mean that the dog is ugly and it's nasty, and it's not what the hadith says. Hadith tells us not to have what? Dogs. Everybody understand this? That does not deny the reality of your little daughter seeing a cute, furry little puppy. And she says, oh, Abby, that's nice. Oh, mashallah. Okay, let's keep moving. Babas. You educate your children and you teach them what the Prophet ﷺ has told us and taught us. Instead of just sheltering them. Now, spiritually teach them, explain to them why. It may be nice, but it's still haram. It's still what? It's still haram. And just because something is haram doesn't mean that it isn't nice outwardly. Allah tells us that the worldly life is adornment, zina. It's beautiful. This is ugly. I hate this. It's disgusting. I hate looking at this. Doesn't necessarily mean that, yaqi. That's fakeness. You're being fake. You see what I'm saying to you? That's what? It's fake. Everybody understand this? Khamr, perfect example of that. It's haram. You can't drink khamr. But in paradise, there's what? It's khamr. Everybody understand this? There's what? It's khamr. And we can make example after example after example. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Can you give some advice for someone who wants to be more than just a 9-to-5 Muslim and actually wants to make a difference in their own life and their own?
First and foremost is ask Allah for that. Beg Allah. Ask Allah. Request Allah to give you some of His bounty, as it states in the Quran al-Kareem, to ask Allah from His fadl, from His bounty. Wallahu dhul fadl al-azim. Wallahu wasi'un alim. Allah is the possessor of the most expansive bounty. So ask Allah. Ask Allah for that. That's first and foremost. Secondly, we say is that we've spoken this topic many times. How to be a good 9-to-5 Muslim. How to be a good beginner student of knowledge, or junior student of knowledge, or intermediate student of knowledge, an advanced student of knowledge. We've spoken on some of the akhlaq of the ulama in different lectures and different classes and different talks. So we advise you to go back to those talks. Etiquettes of the student of hadith. We spoke on this. How to be serious. Dedication to your studies. We spoke on this in many, many different classes in diverse ways. 5 minutes of faida, khutbas, explanation of 40 hadith on seeking knowledge, and the list goes on. So go back to those classes on the channel. That's first and foremost. As far as a brief piece of advice right now, then it depends on your lifestyle. How far do you want to go? What do you want to be? You want to be more than just a 9-to-5 Muslim. Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to give up things? I want to go study. I want to memorize. I want ijazah. I want to do this. But are you willing to give up extra sleep? Are you willing to give up comfortable living? Are you willing to give up money? Are you willing to go without being married? Are you willing to do those things? If you're willing to make the necessary sacrifices, marhaba, welcome. Inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you're unwilling to make those sacrifices, and you just want to keep talking about it and dreaming and fantasizing over it, then it's a waste of our time and your time. So you got to be real with yourself. What am I willing and what am I unwilling to do? Everybody understand this? Another very important point is the company that you keep. The people that you're around. Those whom you sit with and laugh with and joke with and travel with. What are their aspirations in life? Are they low, base-minded people? Simple-minded people? Or do they want more out of life? Do they want Jannah? They want ilm, they want to learn, they want to be good, righteous, knowledgeable Muslims. Who do you hang with? If it's your wife, your husband, your parents, who are your friends? Who are the people you keep in your company? If those people are holding you back, or they're not holding you back, but they're not pushing you forward, then you need to move on. You need to do what? You need to move forward. As the Prophet ﷺ has told us about the importance of company and the similitude of the righteous companion and the similitude of the wicked companion. Everybody understand this? Last but not least, I would advise you to read the biographies of the great masters of hadith. Seek inspiration from the legends, how they lived, how they traveled, what they did, how Allah had blessed them with so much. And you keep reading that raw information. Perhaps it will set off a spark inside you and get you to take a few footsteps in their long path that they made. That's my advice in brief.
Person here says, can you teach an Arabic class online?
Can a person teach an Arabic class online? Is it?
I'm guessing that's the question.
There's nothing wrong with teaching online. Teach any way that you have, any means that you have. Sheikh Abdul Aziz bin Baz, rahimahullah, he said this over 20 years ago. He said a student of knowledge has to use every means of calling to Allah. Billboards, newspapers, television, whatever you have. Call to the way of your Lord. Teach the people, educate the people. The best of you are those who learn the Quran and teach the Quran in any means. In any what? Means. As long as that thing is permissible. Wallahu alam.
During one of your classes last week, someone asked a question on praying 4 rak'ah after Isha being equal to praying it on Laylatul Qadr. And you said you didn't know anything about it. I think the brother was mentioning the narration of the Sahaba and praying Isha in congregation and then praying 4 is equal to praying 4 rak'ah on Laylatul Qadr.
Once again, I don't know anything of that narration. I don't know of any authentic hadith from the Prophet ﷺ that says the 4 rak'ah after Salat al-Isha equate or equal to what? Laylatul Qadr. That's my answer to that question.
Assalamu alaikum. What is mustakharaj? Like, what does musnad, etc.?
Wa fikum barakallah. As far as a musnad or a mustakhraj, then as we have explained many times before, these are different genres of hadith books. Different types of hadith books. Naam, types of what? Hadith books. They all deal with hadith nabawi. Prophet's words, statements, his actions. Those that are authentic, those that are weak, those that are totally made up, fabricated, anything that's attributed to the Nabi al-Kareem alayhi salatu wasalam. And there are different types of books. Some books deal with rulings. Some books deal with authenticity. There's different topics of the books. And there are also different ways of organizing, arranging, and compiling the books. Some scholars, they compile the books alphabetically. Some put them topically. And there's also further expansion and advancement of the earlier books. Imam al-Bukhari writes a book in the 3rd century. And a scholar comes in the 4th century, the 5th century, and he does something to Imam al-Bukhari's book. He expands it. He plays around with it. He adjusts some things and expands his work. And from that type of expansion is that which is called al-mustakhraj. A mustakhraj is for a scholar of hadith to collect the same hadith as another scholar did, but with a different root, a different isnad, that eventually links up with somebody in Bukhari's chain. Everybody understand this? Someone in what? Al-Bukhari's chain. Everybody understand this? And there are many fawaid in that, many benefits of the books called mustakhraj. So you have to understand that there's different genre of hadith, what? Hadith books. Everybody understand this? Let's make an example of this. It may not be the best example, but it's definitely something that's going to make it clear for everybody, inshallah. If we empty our cups. Let's talk about films. Okay? Movies. They have different types of movies. You have action. You have drama. You have sci-fi. Naam. Documentary. You have comedy, etc. All of these things are films. There is a what? A camera. There's a video. There's an actor. There's someone speaking and walking and talking, movement and motion. Everybody understand this? But they're different what? Genre. The comedy genre is totally different than the drama. Totally different. But it still pertains to A film. Something that you're watching and listening to at one time. Everybody understand this? So many Muslims, they feel and they think that hadith books are just one simple slab. That's it. Sahih Bukhari, that's it. Many people, they think this and they feel this. That all of the hadith books are the same and they're just, no. They have very different what? Styles and genres. Some pertain to this and others pertain to a total different what? Topic. Total different genre. But it's still pertaining to what? Hadith. Film. Comedy, drama, sci-fi, adventure. But it's all what?
Same umbrella.
Hey, what's under the same umbrella? Everybody understand this? So the Mustakhraj book is one of those many genres of hadith books. Everybody clear on this? And the hadith legacy, the hadith culture is very vast, very deep, for hundreds and hundreds of years. So therefore, a Mustakhraj book is a book that's written after an original work. An author, he adds things, he has his own isnad that eventually reaches a common link with Bukhari, with Abu Dawood, with Muslim, etc. Khair, inshallah. For further clarification on that, please watch all of the videos that we have done. First and foremost is the compilation of the Sunnah within 21 parts. And we explain what a Mustakhraj is. We also talk about the compilation of the 6 mother books of Hadith, the conservation of the Sunnah, and many different lectures. Beacon New York, Peak Skill New York, we've spoken that in detail on the channel. It's all there in the playlist. As far as a musnad, then a musnad is a genre of hadith book, of hadith culture. It is a book in which the author compiles hadiths and he arranges them according to the companions who narrated those hadiths. He arranges them not to the topic, tahara, salah, zakah, or janaiz, funerals, hajj. No. He puts them in order. Ibn Umar, Abu Hurairah, Aisha, Anas, Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, Ma'qil ibn Yasar, Miqdad ibn Aswad. Whatever those 10 hadiths that Anas bin Malik narrated, hypothetically, those 10 hadiths that Aisha narrated, the 15 hadiths that Abu Sa'id al-Khudri narrated, regardless of the topic. 10 hadiths of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri in this book. One hadith talks about the last day. One hadith talks about the Dajjal. Another hadith talks about menstruation. Another talks about jihad. Another hadith talks about speaking the truth to the rulers, etc. Despite the topic, despite the concept of the hadith, he puts them in what? One place. Because it's one sahabi. So if you're looking for hadiths on tahara, hadiths on fiqh of fasting, hadiths on jihad, hadiths on divorce, you cannot look through a musnad and just flip through it like that. You have to look in a book of a sunan genre, or a jami' genre, or a sahih genre, which is topically what? The book of divorce, the book of breastfeeding, the book of child custody, all in order. And in the chapter of breastfeeding, there are 10 hadiths. One is reported by Aisha, one by Ibn Umar, one by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, etc. The musnad, all of the hadiths of one companion are put in what? One place. Everybody clear on this? And there's fawaid in that. There are many wisdoms and that type of, many benefits in that. Please go back to those videos in which we explained this with more detail. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best.
You said the hadith of where the circumcised parts meet is da'if. Can you explain?
Question says, you said that the hadith where the circumcised parts means is da'if. Please explain. First and foremost, as a correction, we never said that. We've never said that. Perhaps the questioner is confused with regards to female circumcision. The hadiths on females being circumcised, the obligation or recommendation of that, we said they are weak. But we never said, in my memory, and Allah knows best, that the hadith, إِذَا الْتَقَى الْخِتَانَانِ, when the two circumcised parts meet, is daif. I don't think we ever said that. Please go back to the recordings, inshallah.
Is it considered helping people in transition if you work in a store that sells Christmas trees and you are asked to help them put it within their car?
Is it considered acting or helping each other upon sin and transgression if you work in a place in which there are Christmas trees and someone asks you to put the tree into the car? I would say yes. I would say yes. Wallahu alam. If you're in that position, if you're stuck in that position, then ask Allah to remove you from that. Ask Allah to give you a job that is more blessed and more pure, even if it's less money, even if it's more difficult, even if it's just temporary, if it's less convenient. ask Allah to deliver you from that. And then ask Allah for the strength and the courage to walk away from that job until Allah gives you a better job. With regards to Christmas trees or anything else which displeases Allah and angers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
How do you determine something is physically impure or spiritually impure? I don't understand why a dog you're allowed to have can lick your coffee.
Says here, with regards to something physically or spiritually impure, so on and so forth. We say by the Kitab and the Sunnah, knowledge. That which Allah tells us to avoid, to stay away from, to wash, to clean. The Prophet ﷺ informs us that it's najis, to get rid of it, to pour it out, to wash it 7 times, to wash it 3 times, only use your left hand, etc. Then those things are what? They're najis. Physically najis, blood of menses, excrement of human beings, excrement of certain animals, urine of certain animals, urine of human beings. These are things are najis. Everybody understand this? Based off of the Kitab and the Sunnah. Based off of the book and the Sunnah and the Ijma'. And then there are things which are morally impure, such as khamr, alcohol, based off of Kitab, Sunnah, and Ijma'. Allah tells us to avoid khamr, fajtanibuhu. Avoid it, stay away from it, keep away from it. Everybody clear on this? Illegal wealth, ill-gotten wealth, riba, is spiritually and morally what? It's impure, it's filthy, it's dirty. Allah does not accept the sadaqah that's given from ghulul. So we take that from the Kitab, from the Sunnah, and from the Ijma'. Where do I read about this? In the books of fiqh, in the books of hadith. There's a chapter in every book of fiqh, Babun Najasat. The chapter of impure things. The chapter of Izarat al-Najasa. The chapter of Al-Istitaba. As we have explained in Bulugh al-Maram, in this class, in Durr al-Bahiyya, and other classes as well. So that's the concept of course to that. As far as I don't understand, then it's not a condition for everyone to understand every single thing. Those ulama, they say, not all of them, as we said, but some of them. And they use intellectual proof, they use reasoning. They say that if I can keep the dog, if the dog is not haram to have because of hunting, or because of security, or because of my sheep, everybody clear on this? The dog is going to be in some type of relative what? Close proximity. Especially on hunting. You're driving in a truck, you're traveling up in the hills, the mountains, the dog is with you. You let the dog out, the dog go gets the duck, the fox, whatever you're hunting, brings it back. The dog is sitting and waiting. It's a trained dog. The condition of the dog that is used for hunting is that it has to be trained. It doesn't go unless you tell it to go. When you tell it to stop, it stops. It's trained. So the dog, it sits, it wags its tail. You're waiting for the animals, you're waiting for the birds. The dog licks something like that. A person may not know, a person may not have the ability to pour it out. This is the only coffee that we have with us. This is all the coffee we have, and we're out in the cold. Everybody understand this? 1 cup of coffee may seem simple to you, but to someone who's hunting for deer or hunting for ducks and geese for hours, everybody understand this? That cup of coffee means a lot, or that cup of tea means a lot. Everybody understand this? So these fuqaha, they say, not all of them once again, and it's very important to have proper understanding. Everybody clear? That's in general. Anybody that you're studying with, let alone our style. Oftentimes, we give the explanation, the simple explanation, and then we branch off. And we give you little snippets and pieces to make you think. Everybody clear on this? That doesn't mean that that's ijma'. That does not mean that it's my view. Hakadha. We have to understand this. So some of them, they say that the dog that you're allowed to have, its saliva is not najis. And the only type of saliva of the dog that's najis is the illegitimate, as we clearly explained. We said this. The illegitimate dog, shar'an. In other words, I have a dog as a pet. A Muslim is not allowed to have a dog as a pet. Everybody clear on this? The dog licks my bowl, my tumbler, my water, my coffee. We made an example. Everybody understand this? You must do what? Pour it out. Everybody understand this? Some ulama, they say all dogs, that the saliva of the dog is what? Period. And other ulama, they say no. It is the dog that is what? Illegal to have. The dog that you're allowed to have, its saliva is what? It's either pure or they say ma'fuun anhu. That is overlooked. And this makes sense. Not saying this is correct, but it makes sense to an extent because it's a hardship. With the example of the coffee out hunting in the field. It's a what? It's a hardship. The Prophet said about the cat that the cat passes around. It goes back and forth. In other words, every time I've had to clean something off, wash something off, pour something out, the cat, it will be a what? A hardship. Do cats not eat meat? Without a doubt. Do they not hunt? Huh? Without a doubt. They're some of the best hunters. Everybody clear on this? Cats, they have teeth that are sharp. Incisors, canine. They have razor sharp claws. Reflexes to hunt, to kill. They smell blood. Is this not the case? Why isn't the cat najis? Why isn't the cat saliva najis? And it's just like the other animals that eat. They eat meat. The excrement of the cat smells bad. This urine, it smells what? Everybody understand this? Yet and still, it's permissible when a cat drinks from it. Why? Because it would be a what? A hardship. And they have the same view about the dog that you're allowed to keep. That you're Islamically what? Allowed to keep. If you had to pour it out, if the saliva was najis, it would be a clear hardship. And there's no example clearer than that than out hunting. Rather, some of the ulama, they say when the animal is brought in by the dog, the body of the animal does not have to be washed. Because Allah did not say that in the Quran in Surah Al-Ma'idah. Allah says, eat that which they bring back for you, that which they retrieve for you. And the dog has its mouth on the what? Everybody clear on this? Just as some of the ulama said, it's permissible to buy and sell a dog for legal purposes. For what? Islamic purposes. Everybody clear on this? The prohibition of buying a dog. And the authentic hadith of the Prophet. You cannot buy a dog or sell a dog. Now, some of the ulama, they say that it's permissible to buy and sell a dog that is what? Legal purposes. That's Islamically legit. I'm a hunter. I need a hunting dog. Aywa. They say it's permissible to do what? To buy it. Even though it's prohibited to do what? Buy it. Aywa. And they say that's pertaining to dogs that are what? Illegal Islamically. You cannot buy a dog as a pet. You cannot buy a dog for this and for that. Everybody understand this? Wallahu alam. Hopefully that's clear. We will stop here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Jazakumullahu khairan.